With all the different brushes that are out there in the marketplace, it might be hard for you to decide which one you should be using. Today I'm going to talk about all the different brush types, and hopefully you'll be able to understand which one you should be buying. The first brushes that I want to talk to you about are detangling brushes. So something like this, where it's plastic, it has really flexible nylon bristles. This is going to help you detangle your hair without it pulling your hair out. An alternative would be to use a really wide tooth comb. This one has a really large tail so that you can take sections without pulling on your hair too much. Both of them are ideal. This probably for someone with higher density hair, whereas this little guy is good for fine hair like mine. I can even get away with blow drying my hair with something like this because otherwise things might pull on my hair type. If you have color treated hair and your hair has lost some of its elasticity, these are also handy tools to have to comb out your hair when it's fragile and in a wet state. Next, we move on to flat brushes. For flat brush, you have a paddle brush. A paddle brush to me is the one size fits all of brushes. You can use it to massage your scalp, which we know is important for hair growth and scalp health. When you comb up and down this way, because the bristles are faced or they're lined up in a row, they'll detangle hair. Or if you rotate and work horizontally with this brush, it's really good for providing just enough tension to do a simple blow dry. The other thing that I love this brush for is because of the padded cushion, it's never gonna hit your head or hurt your head when you go to brush your hair. The next flat brush type we have is a vest brush, which is a brand name, but there's lots of brushes that look like this, or a Denman brush. So what makes these good is it's nylon bristles, and what's inside is ceramic. So you're actually heating the hair up as you blow dry. Because it's a little smaller than a paddle brush, it'd be good for someone with short hair like myself, because you can get nice and close to the areas on the head, where a paddle brush on my hair type, it's not gonna do a whole lot. It also offers a little more grip. So if you're blow drying, say a fringe, this little brush gets into those areas and provides enough tension for you to blow dry. You'll notice a lot of hairstylists in the salon gravitate towards this brush when they're blow drying your hair after a haircut. It's not necessarily a brush that's going to give you any curl to your hair, but it's gonna create a nice smooth blow dry. Another type of flat brush is a grooming brush, such as a Mason Pearson brush. This one is considered the ultimate grooming brush, simply because it has boar bristles. It's also been around for a really long time, so these guys know what they're talking about. What's nice about a boar bristle brush is it's gonna take the oil that's at the scalp and help move it down the hair shaft. It's also really good at breaking up any loose product that you might have left over from a different hairstyle, so hairspray maybe. You need to be careful with these brushes. They don't necessarily love water because of the rubber that the bristles are being held together by. So you might be better off cleaning these by taking the hair out first and then spraying with alcohol. If you can't invest in getting a Mason Pearson, a lot of other companies make very similar brushes and you'll find them at various price points. So shop around. Even your local drugstore might have a similar brush. Round brushes. There's a lot of confusion when it comes to choosing a round brush. The first type of round brush I'm going to talk about is a round brush that has nylon bristles with a ceramic center. Why this has a ceramic center is because the hair is going to penetrate right through the nylon and hit the core of the brush, making the core of the brush what's styling your hair. Nylon bristles are just going to help guide the hair as it passes into the center of the brush. The handle choice is up to you, and with this one it even comes with a little pick that you can simply turn around, which will make it easier to section off hair. How I like to use these brushes is to really curl the hair, meaning I'm going to place the hair on top and then wind it up, as opposed to stretching, which is going to straighten hair for me. We talked about cuticle of hair in a different episode, and I would recommend that you watch that so you know what I'm talking about. So as far as this brush goes, you ideally want to have a flat cuticle, because this brush with the nylon bristles will not smooth your hair. It really will help produce a shape instead. So you want to have a flat cuticle, your hair type might be straight, or it could be curly, but you might be someone who loses volume really quickly during the day. This is what you're going to be looking for. Nylon bristle with ceramic core. Another style of round brush has boar bristles and a wood handle. A wood handle is really good because it's antiviral, which means you don't have to worry about germs. Boar bristles don't allow the hair to penetrate into the center, simply because it's just the type of bristle that they are. As I mentioned before, because they're boar bristles, this brush has some of the same capabilities or characteristics as a grooming brush. So if you need your hair smoothed out, this is going to be your ideal choice. So if you have a high cuticle or your hair is really curly, this brush is going to be excellent at stretching and getting your hair nice and smooth. When you're choosing a brush size for a round brush, keep in mind the larger the diameter. In this case, when you look at a boar bristle, the diameter counts from the outside of the bristle, where the boar would begin. As opposed to a ceramic round brush, you need to look at the diameter being exactly where the nylon begins, simply because hair won't penetrate through boar, making these two similar brush sizes. If you have really short hair, like mine, you might want to choose a brush that's a little bit smaller, but if you're using something really big, keep in mind something like this will have a tendency to straighten my hair. This brush will have a tendency to curl my hair, simply because of the sizes. Sometimes people find those really, really big round brushes that are like the diameter of someone's head. To me, that would be similar to using a paddle brush because the surface area that you're blow drying on is just as big as a paddle brush. The only benefit of using a really large round brush like that would be that the bristles might create a little bit more tension than a paddle brush. I have a few optional brushes here on the table. The first one being this little guy. This one is great when you're refining hair, say for a photo shoot. For daily use, however, not too many people are going to be needing a brush like this, unless maybe you have a mustache and you want to make sure it looks nice and clean. Brushes can be expensive, so it is important that you understand how to clean them. So invest in a little tool like this. It has two different sizes that's designed to help clean out loose hair, dirt, product out of your brush. And it only takes a couple of minutes and your brush will last so much longer because you're taking care of it better. The best brush is my favorite brush. Which one's yours? Please write it in the comments section below. And thanks for watching.